There are love stories written in scripts, carefully rehearsed for the cameras, and then there are those fleeting, unscripted sparks that fans catch when no one else is looking. For Im Yoon-ah and Lee Jun-ho, the two dazzling stars whose chemistry has left entire nations swooning, the line between real and real has never been thinner. Their on-screen magic is undeniable, but it's those small, almost hidden moments, the blushes, the glances, the playful smiles, that tell an entirely different story. And perhaps the most unforgettable part of it all is how Yoon-ah, the ever-poised goddess of K-drama, seemed to melt into flustered blushes whenever Lee Jun-ho leaned just a little too close. The journey of these two stars began with a project that promised romance, but what unfolded behind the scenes gave fans far more than they bargained for. From the very first press conference, sparks seemed to crackle in the air. Cameras caught Yoon-ah stealing glances, her lips tugging into a smile that she tried to hide with the back of her hand. Jun-ho, ever the playful charmer, leaned toward her with that signature grin that could disarm even the most composed actress. And there it was, the blush. The faint rosy tint that spread across her cheeks, subtle enough to escape the casual viewer, but sharp-eyed fans noticed. They clipped it, replayed it, and the internet exploded with whispers. Did Yoon-ah just blush because of Jun-ho? The beauty of their connection lies in its subtlety. Unlike staged romantic gestures, their flirty exchanges seemed organic, almost accidental, and yet far too genuine to ignore. During one interview, when the host teased them about their undeniable chemistry, Jun-ho turned toward Yoon-ah with a mischievous look, his eyebrow raised as if daring her to deny it. She tried, of course, offering a composed laugh, but her face betrayed her. Her cheeks warmed instantly, and she ducked her head just slightly, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Fans screamed online, dubbing the moment the ear-tuck blush, a telltale sign that Yoon-ah had been caught off guard by his charm. It wasn't just in the interviews. Even in casual behind-the-scenes clips, their body language told its own love story. On set breaks, Jun-ho often leaned closer than necessary, whispering something that made her laugh uncontrollably. And while her laughter was bright and free, what caught fans' attention was the way her face colored afterward, her hand instinctively reaching for her cheek, as though she could cool the blush with her fingertips. She wasn't just laughing, she was flustered, and Jun-ho knew it. The way his eyes sparkled with mischief each time suggested that he lived for those moments, delighting in making her lose her composure. One of the most talked-about moments came during a fan meet when the two stars were asked to reenact one of their most romantic drama scenes. The crowd buzzed with excitement, phones raised high, as Yoon-ah and Jun-ho stepped closer, their faces inches apart. It was supposed to be a simple reenactment, but Jun-ho, ever the tease, lingered just a little longer than necessary, his gaze dropping briefly to her lips before meeting her eyes again. That was all it took. Yoon-ah's composure cracked, and her face bloomed with color. She laughed nervously, swatting him playfully on the arm, but the blush remained, stubborn and undeniable. The audience erupted, and the clip instantly went viral, sparking endless discussions about whether the blush was scripted or not. Fans knew the truth. No script could replicate that kind of raw, human reaction. What makes Yoon-ah's blushes so captivating is how rare they are. As one of Korea's most seasoned actresses, she is known for her elegance, professionalism, and grace under pressure. She's mastered the art of staying composed in front of flashing cameras and prying interviewers. Yet with Jun-ho, her guards seemed to lower effortlessly. He teased out a side of her that fans had rarely seen, giddy, playful, and adorably flustered. It was almost as though she forgot the cameras were there, existing only in the bubble they created together. And when she blushed, it wasn't just a surface reaction. It was a confession in color, an unspoken admission that he had slipped past her defenses. Another unforgettable flirty moment surfaced during a variety show appearance. The cast was playing a light-hearted game, and Yoon-ah was asked to choose her ideal type among a group of male co-stars. Everyone expected her to laugh it off diplomatically, but when her turn came, she glanced at Jun-ho, who was already smirking knowingly. She tried to look away, choosing humor instead, but Jun-ho leaned forward and whispered something inaudible into her ear. Whatever he said worked like magic. Her face turned crimson in seconds, and she burst into laughter, covering her mouth as though that could hide her fluster. The camera zoomed in mercilessly, catching every shade of pink that painted her cheeks. Fans immediately flooded social media with screenshots, captions ranging from, "Did Jun-ho just break Yoonah's cool facade?" to "This blush is all the proof we need." But perhaps the most intimate moments weren't even on stage. They were in the quiet in-betweens when they thought no one was watching. A behind-the-scenes clip once showed Yoon-ah rehearsing her lines quietly, her brow furrowed in concentration. Jun-ho walked past, paused, and leaned down to whisper a small correction. She looked up at him, startled, and that infamous blush spread once more. What made it different, however, was the softness of her gaze. She wasn't just embarrassed, she was touched, her lips curving into a shy smile as if grateful for his presence. For fans, it was a rare glimpse into something tender, something more than playful teasing. Even red carpet appearances gave away their secret language. At one event, as the two walked side by side, photographers called their names, urging them to pose together. Jun-ho, confident and charismatic, extended his hand slightly toward her, not quite holding it but close enough to guide her. The gesture was so subtle that many might have missed it, but Yoon-ah didn't. Her reaction was instantaneous. Her cheeks flushed once again, and she looked down, trying to compose herself before flashing the cameras her signature smile. That fleeting blush, captured in high resolution, became one of the most dissected images among fans, who insisted it revealed more than words ever could. What sets their dynamic apart is the balance of playfulness and sincerity. Jun-ho's teasing wasn't just surface-level flirting, it was layered with a warmth that made Yoon-ah respond in ways she never did with others. Each blush was a silent conversation between them, an unspoken acknowledgement of a chemistry they couldn't fully hide. Fans began to speculate whether these reactions were simply good acting, or if they hinted at something deeper brewing off-camera. And while neither star has confirmed anything, the evidence lies in the details. The blushes, the stolen glances, the shy smiles that can't be rehearsed. The internet has become a living archive of these moments. Fans create compilations titled, "Yoon-ah Blushing Because of Jun-ho," and "The Flirty Chemistry No One Can Ignore." Each clip is dissected frame by frame, with fans pointing out every subtle detail. The way her hand fidgets when he gets too close, the way his eyes linger a second longer than necessary, the way her laughter becomes just a little higher-pitched in his presence. These analyses may seem excessive to outsiders, but for fans invested in their story, it's proof of something magical unfolding in real time. What makes their flirty exchanges so irresistible is how human they are. In a world where celebrity relationships are carefully managed and guarded, the blushes feel real, unscripted, and authentic. They remind fans that behind the glamorous image of Im Yoon-ah is a woman who can still be flustered by a charming smile, and behind Lee Jun-ho's polished charisma is a man who delights in drawing that side out of her. It's a dance of attraction and hesitation, a romance written not in grand declarations, but in fleeting, unguarded moments. And perhaps that's why fans can't get enough. The flirty moments between Yoon-ah and Jun-ho are not just about entertainment. They're about possibility. Each blush is a tiny seed of hope that what we're witnessing isn't just acting, but the beginning of something real. Each playful smile is a reminder that sometimes the best love stories aren't the ones written in scripts, but the ones written in the silences between takes, in the whispers that microphones can't catch, in the blushes that betray even the most seasoned actress. As the world continues to speculate, one thing remains clear. Im Yoon-ah's blushes are more than just a reaction. They are a love language, spoken only when Lee Jun-ho is near. And whether their story remains confined to the screen or blossoms into something more, fans will always remember the flirty, unforgettable moments that slipped through the cracks of polished professionalism and gave us a glimpse of something beautifully, irresistibly human. The story of Im Yoon-ah and Lee Jun-ho feels like a symphony that keeps building toward a crescendo, with every blush, every playful exchange adding another note of intensity. Fans who have followed their journey know that what keeps this dynamic alive isn't just the visible sparks, but the anticipation of what might come next. The charm of their relationship lies in the mystery, in the way Jun-ho's teasing gaze seems to strip away Yoon-ah's polished calm, leaving her cheeks painted in that unmistakable rose hue. And the fascinating part? The blushes keep coming. Each new appearance, each behind-the-scenes glimpse, reveals another layer of their chemistry. Fans now look at their interactions with a magnifying glass, searching for every tilt of the head, every accidental brush of the hand, every shy giggle that seems to escape when they are too close. Some even argue that Yoon-ah's blushes have evolved, from shy and flustered at the beginning to warm and comfortable now, almost as though she has stopped trying to hide the effect Jun-ho has on her. One particularly unforgettable continuation of their story came during an awards ceremony. The two stars were seated just a row apart, with cameras occasionally cutting to their reactions. When Jun-ho's name was announced as a winner, the entire room applauded, but the shot that went viral was Yoon-ah's. As she clapped, her eyes found him instinctively, and her face softened into a proud smile. Then came the inevitable. Her cheeks turned pink as Jun-ho looked directly at her, his grin widening in response. It was a silent conversation between them, captured in front of millions. Fans declared it the proud blush, a sign of admiration that hinted at something more intimate than co-star camaraderie. But perhaps the most thrilling aspect for fans is how Jun-ho seems to orchestrate these blushes like a maestro conducting a performance. He knows exactly when to lean closer, exactly how to lower his voice just enough to send a shiver through the air, exactly how to hold her gaze a second too long. And Yoon-ah, for all her poise, can't escape his spell. That is what makes this so addictive to watch. It feels real, unscripted, and filled with the kind of suspense that K-drama fans live for. The internet, of course, has transformed into a shrine of their moments. Edits of Yoon-ah's blushes are stitched into slow-motion montages, soundtracked by romantic ballads, while captions scream things like, "This is not acting anymore," or "Protect this chemistry at all costs." International fans have joined in, translating Korean fan comments and fueling global conversations about whether Jun-ho and Yoon-ah are the next great K-drama love story unfolding in real life. And here's where the magic truly lies. This isn't just about two celebrities. This is about the thrill of watching love potentially bloom in front of us, hidden in stolen moments and betrayed by a blush. It's about the butterflies fans feel every time Jun-ho smirks and Yoon-ah tries, unsuccessfully, to hide her fluster. It's about the reminder that even stars, adored by millions, are still human enough to be undone by a single glance. Imagine this. Years from now, if they ever confirm a relationship, fans will look back on these blush-filled moments as the secret breadcrumbs they left behind. Every giggle, every stolen glance, every crimson flush will suddenly transform from speculation to proof. And isn't that what makes following their story so irresistible? The possibility that we are witnessing history in the making, love written not on a script but in stolen seconds. This is exactly why K-drama lovers around the world can't stop talking about them, and why platforms like K-Drama Diaries exist, to capture these magical details, to dissect the moments that others miss, and to give fans a space to relive every blush, every spark, every heartbeat. If you've ever found yourself replaying a clip just to see Yoon-ah's face turn pink again, or if you've stayed up at night scrolling through fan edits of Jun-ho's mischievous smile, then this is the community for you. At K-Drama Diaries, we don't just watch, we experience, analyze, and celebrate every second of chemistry that takes our breath away. We dive deep into those fleeting glances that most overlook. We unravel the hidden layers of flirty moments, and we bring you closer to the heart of K-drama than ever before. And right now, there is no story hotter, no chemistry stronger, no blush more talked about than the ones between Im Yoon-ah and Lee Jun-ho. So if your heart races at the thought of what might be happening behind those blushes, if you believe in love stories that transcend the screen, then don't just watch from the sidelines. Join the conversation, be part of the family, and let's uncover every secret spark together. Subscribe to K-Drama Diaries today and never miss a moment of this breathtaking journey. Because when Yoon-ah blushes and Jun-ho smirks, it's more than just acting, it's a love story waiting to be told, and we'll be here to capture every second of it for you.